Electro Titans are one of the strongest troops at TH14, and here are the top 3 best ways to use them. This is the general army composition for the fireball variation of this strategy. That's right, you can find army links of all 3 variations in my pinned comment. The important things in this one though is the SB and Warden with these equipments. Rest of the things are pretty much adjustable. Now for the Electro Titans, we need to create a solid pathing to make sure they go into the base and stay together throughout the attack. For that, we will use different approaches in all of these attacks, and for this one, we will use the fireball. After creating a solid funnel, the Electro Titans will smash through the whole base along with the heroes. And we will use Jump Spell and King ability to make sure they don't get stuck onto the walls. These are the 2 fundamental aspects for any Electro Titan attack. Now here on this base, there's a great fireball value in both of the scatter compartment, but we will go after this one since it is providing a better pathing into the town hall. We will deploy the Warden here and wait for him to clear this archer tower. And once it goes down, we will deploy 2 invisibility spells like this, so the fireball can target the scatter shot and take down that whole compartment with the help of an earthquake spell. After the fireball, we will deploy the Titans along with King and Queen to follow this path. Warden will also join them, and together they will move like this. We will use King ability around here to open these walls, and Jump Spell here will give them access to the entire base. SB will clear this flank and keep the main pack centralized, and we will use RC later in the attack to help through the back end. That's the plan. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with deploying the Yeti. It will create a little bit of funneling to make sure the SB troops stays on the flank and don't actually go into the base. Now let's deploy the Warden to start working over the other side. Coco Loon ahead of the healers, as I always recommend. It will trigger any possible air mines and protect the healers. Alright, the archer tower is down, so let's set up for the fireball. We even got both the enemy heroes, which is a massive value. Notice how I deployed the Electro Titans near the edge of Warden's aura ring to pull him towards them. The Yeti we used earlier did a fantastic job, and now we can deploy the SB without worrying about the main pack going outside or the SB troops going inside of the base. The enemy CC is out now. This is by far the most annoying CC to face at TH14, but with the help of a poison spell, Electro Titans can take down any CC on their own. Notice how I used the Ice Block spell to fully heal our troops while avoiding any damage from the Town Hall poison. It is a very versatile spell and can be used to get through the Town Hall poison when we don't have the Eternal Tome on the Warden. Alright, the jump spell will give the main pack access to the back end as we planned, and we will use Rage spell to power through that multi-inferno. Now let's deploy the RC on the Eagle side to start working over there. We can also use her with the Titans like the King and Queen, but most of the time she will go ahead of the main pack and die out to the defenses while they are busy attacking the wall or any non-defensive building. So it's better to use her solo, because we are running Hog Puppet on her, so she will survive longer and get more value. Now this one is almost the same as the last one, but instead of using the fireball, we will use the RC charge to create pathing for the Titans. Once the RC create a proper funnel with all the invisibilities, we will recall her to use later in the attack. And since we are not using the fireball, we will have double books on the Warden to get through the Town Hall. Rest of the process remains exactly the same. So here on this base, we will deploy the RC here and charge into this single Inferno compartment. She will clear all these things, and once we run out of the invisibilities, we will recall her to use later in the attack. After the RC charge, we will have this L-shaped path for the main pack. They will move like this. We will use King ability around here to open these walls, and Jump spell here will give them access to the entire base. Warden ability with Rage spell will get us through the Town Hall, and we will use SB over this flank to keep the main pack centralized. Also, we will redeploy the RC here that we recalled earlier to help through the back end. Simple plan. Now let's execute it. Alright, let's start with deploying the Yeti, just like the last attack. You can also use P.E.K.K.A. or Baby Dragon if you want, but Yeti will work the best. Now the RC charge we do in this strategy is exactly the same as we do in the recall spell variation of RC charge dragon attack, where we don't use the RC ability right away and start using the invisibilities from the beginning. This variation works particularly well on such compact bases, because the defenses are placed very close to each other, so the aura damage from the Electro boots will get much better value. Alright, we got so much value with the RC. Now let's use the wizards to clean up the trash buildings left behind by her. Notice how I used the poison on the furnace instead of the ice golem and super minion, because the fire mites out of it deals so much damage. And it's really important to keep them in the check before they cause too much problem. Alright, the main army is out now. Super wall breakers will open the initial walls for them. And just like the previous attack, we don't have to worry about the funneling because of that Yeti we used earlier. Now, one of the drawbacks of this variation is we are very limited on the support spells, because we used plenty of spells for the RC charge. So as you can see, we only have one rage spell here, but we need that for the Town Hall. So realistically, we only have freezes to get through such a high damaging compartment. Alright, we are approaching the Town Hall. So let's use the Rage spell and activate the Warden ability as we planned earlier. We still have so much force moving, and there's nothing left on the base to stop them. And those fire mites from our SB will also help with the cleanup process. So let's quickly finish it up and move to the next attack. Up next, I will show you a spam style attack using the Electro Titans. So don't click away now. Now, in both of the previous attacks, we used somewhat strategic approaches, but this one is more of a spam-style attack. And it works great on bases like this, with all the important defenses stacked up in the core and having ring type of a wall structure. The idea is very simple here. We want to take down most of the base with main pack, and then use RC later to either support them or clear up the leftover base. So here on this base, we will attack from this side to take down Eagle nice and early. We will first create a solid funnel with baby dragons on both the corners. Then we will deploy the Super Yetis and Titans, followed by the heroes. They are our kill squad. We will also use Log Launcher in this one to make way for the main pack, so they can easily move in and take down all these things. Warden ability will get us through the Town Hall, and we will use Rage and Heal spell to support the main pack against the heavy damaging core. After the main pack take down the entire core, we will use the RC to clear up the leftover edges of the base. Sounds like a plan. Now let's make it happen. Alright, let's start with deploying the baby dragons for the funneling. Again, you can also use P.E.K.K.A. or Yeti for the funneling. But we are using Super Yetis and Electro Titans, and both of them have housing space of over 30, so we are kinda short on the army space. And to use any other funneling troop, we have to give up one of the Super Yeti or Titan, which is not ideal. Alright, the main army is out now. Notice how I lined up the Log Launcher to run through that single inferno. Now surprisingly, none of these variations are prone to the time fail, because Titans doesn't have that ability to get through the walls. So they often struggle against walls. That's why things like Jump Spell or King's Earthquake Boots are very important to this strategy. And as I explained in the beginning, The most important thing while using Electro Titans is to have a solid pathing for them to follow and don't split up. For that, we have Fireball or RC Charge. And second important thing is to have clear access to the base. For that, we have King Ability and Jump Spell or Log Launcher. So as long as you don't mess up with these two, it's hard to fail with Titans. I recommend you to practice these attacks in friendly challenges first to understand such basics before using them in the war. So these are the top 3 best TH14 Electro Titan attack strategies. I hope you guys found it helpful. And if you want to learn more exciting TH14 strategies, then check out my Town Hall 14 playlist. I will see you there.